Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in to the COVID-19 lockdown account. So today, I'm very excited to announce I've got Oli and Lue with me. Oli and Lue are very close personal friends of mine, and they are my first duo on the show. So how are we doing, you two?
Yeah, we're all good.
Thank you.
Good.
Good.
Fantastic.
Kids are in bed, happy.
Good.
They're not quite
Good.
asleep, but they're in bed, so you know we'll take that as a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for those of you listening, we are coming on to about 8 o'clock UK time.
8 o'clock UK time. So it's a record for us, really, to have the kids in bed this time. My laptop's been closed, TV's off, quiet time for us, which is
Unusual.
Yeah, it's a change from yesterday. Trying to keep it, different every night, as dull as it may sound.
Well,
not
at all. Not at all.
Yeah, it's nothing is normal at the minute.
No, definitely not. Well, that's one thing I wanted to touch on. Having to be kind of the heart and soul of your kids right now is the main thing. So for the viewers stroke listeners, tell us a little bit about your kind of family setup. Who's in the house at the moment?
So there's the two of us, and we've got a 7-year-old and a just turned 6-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
So they're both here being homeschooled. So there's the 4 of us in the house all the time, which is really new for me because usually no one's here and I spend 95% of my time by myself. They're both at school, he's at work, and it's just me. So at the beginning it was really hard because I thought there's just somebody everywhere I turn and wanting my attention. So but now I think, well, actually this is quite nice because I'm not by myself.
Oh yeah, there is that, and there's always that kind of time of adjustment. And what are we now? I mean, so for those of you listening in the future, it is the 16th of June. In fact, it's the day before my daughter's 6th birthday. So it's the 16th of June. And what, week 11?
11, yeah, because we was in lockdown the week before because the youngest had chicken pox.
Oh wow!
So I think that she had an extra week not being at school. Yeah, and he was off work then, so that I could do the school run with the eldest. So yeah, we're 1 week extra from the lockdown.
Well, you see week off. There's never a week off.
Week at home. Yeah, you started working
work from home. So I started the work from home process. Just a week before everyone else, more or less. I used to always think, I'm going to work from home more before lockdown, right? Because my office, one of the offices, is actually in Harrow, and we're in Essex, so it's a 2-hour journey each way, right? So. And sometimes I want to get in for 8, just to set things up with the team. And then if I leave at 7 and the trains are on time, you know what time I'm getting back. So I thought, I'll work from home some more. But I never got comfortable. I was like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't think here.
There wasn't a space, was it like a dedicated space because it wasn't never permanent. So it was either at the dining room table or it was just on his lap on the sofa. I suppose being in lockdown, like we've cleared a space in the bedroom. It's actually his it's my dressing room, but that's his desk now. So I've kind of got a slightly different setup now working from home.
I put aside a space and say, right, that's my workspace. So once I step out of that space, that's I can actually have my home space, because trying to have that intertwined, then it's like when is work and when it's not work. So I had to make that separation, and that came to me from talking to a guy on. I was speaking to someone who's works for Shopify, building a website, and was talking about, how is he doing with lockdown and stuff like that, and he's like, it's fine for me because I've been working at home for 2 years, and he said, I set my space up, I get up, I do my usual whatever, and I open that door at 8 o'clock or whatever time I start. But once I shut that door, that's it, I'm out of work. So I made that separation. That made me say, right, even though it's in the space because we got, we're in a small home, I had to make that separation. Otherwise, I think I'd be 24/7 just going.
Yeah, like at the beginning you were, because the laptop was almost like at the end of the bed because it was in our bedroom, it was literally get out of bed, go to the laptop and turn it on, and then it was sort of getting to lunchtime, like, are you going to stop for lunch, or like, are you even taking a break to shower? And he's like, oh yeah, but it's like because it was right there, so we had to kind of go, no, you don't go onto your laptop until at least 7:30 once you've had coffee, had a shower, and otherwise it's just going to get ridiculous. Like, you're never going to separate the two.
Yeah, can wholeheartedly resonate with that. So in the very beginning of lockdown for myself, we had so before lockdown, we had some of Jem's family staying with us. So quite a while away, we have quite a small bungalow, but in the garden, we have a shared drive that goes up the back. And I had a garage, which I've extended and converted. We've been here a while now, you know, and I made it into a bit of a man cave. And as a joke, you know, it was always kind of like the man cave party bit, where I'd have some of my friends over and stuff. And I slowly through the years upgraded and put a little shower and sink area in it. And, you know, one of Jem's family needed to come and stay with us for a bit. And he's, you know, his kids were over as well, like completely, you know, we asked him to come and stay with us because of his situation at the time. We then found very quickly that the moment lockdown came in, there's like, we've got 3-bed bungalow and a big garage, and there was 7 people in the house.
Yeah.
It's cramped quickly.
I remember sitting there trying to, the first couple of episodes, if you go on YouTube and watch this, you'll see me in my bedroom trying to do this. And you can do stuff in the background. I'm trying to work online. And I remember almost having like a bit of a breakdown and just saying to Jem, I don't know what to do. And the moment I got that space to work back in, Jem's brother, who was great, had moved on and gone to stay with his parents for a bit while lockdown's going on, and then he's going to go and get his own place. But the moment I got this place back, it was like this massive weight was taken off my shoulders. The moment I had this place where I could lock the door behind me and I was at work, and then more importantly, shut the door behind me and I was back home.
Yeah. That's it.
It just clears your head, doesn't it?
Oh, totally, yeah.
I think it's the same for the kids as well. Like, where they're obviously doing, you know, we're in a small place, so we don't have like a separate room to do schoolwork, so they are doing it on the dining table in the living room. And I think it's in their face all the time, like their school books and they're writing stuff. So on a Friday we try and like clear it away, so it's not in their face all the time. And it's sort of like, no, it's not, you know, you don't have to look at it all the time. So I think it's hard for them as well. They're like, well, this is my living room, this is where I play and I have my dinner and watch the TV, and now I've got to sit here and do schoolwork. So I think it is quite important for them to kind of clear that stuff away for them as well.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, we're in a very similar position. Like we've just got one living space. Where we are. It's just one big living space, so it's hard. The one thing we do have is a conservatory it's you know, I don't even know how it's still standing up. It was when we bought the place a long time ago. They had this old conservatory on the back that leaked to like crazy. We managed to patch it up in bits and bobs. It gets way too hot in the summer, freezing cold in the winter. But that's the kids' playroom. So that is the one space that they've kind of got, and it is, you know, it's a tiny little thing, and the dog goes in there as well. So luckily, it's the only bit that we've got there. So when actually lockdown happened, what kind of whereabouts were you? Do you remember that first kind of week, and do you remember what you were thinking and stuff?
I did. It was quite scary because quite a long story. So Melania, the eldest, had chickenpox for the 3rd time 2 weeks before. So the doctor had told us there is a possibility that her immune system could be low. So we need to possibly get her some blood tests and have a look at her immunities. Marley then got chickenpox. So we were really panicking, thinking she's now going to get it again because she's obviously not got that immunity. And then we went into lockdown and we were like, oh my God, like we've just been told one of our kids could have low immunity, and now the other one's got chickenpox, so his immunity will be low. So I just went into complete paranoia. Like I went,
as you do.
Yeah, and I obviously probably over the top, but it was quite scary. And I remember still doing the school run in that last week, knowing that we were going into lockdown on the schools were closing on the Friday. And around the school, when you sort of like talking to your friends, going, how close am I allowed to be? And she's coming out going, Mummy, it was so scary in assembly because we had to stand and we had to put our arms out and spin so that we weren't touching each other. And I'm thinking, well, that's really horrible. We had to sit opposite each other or something in the lunch hall or something. I was thinking that must have been quite a scary time to be at school. So I remember feeling really, really anxious that week, thinking, oh my God, like no one's allowed to leave the house because I'm just scared that we possibly could have two children with a lowered immunity, so that risk could be higher than picking something up.
And she doesn't put me under any pressure at all whatsoever, right? So takes it all on her chin, all on her own.
Yeah.
For me as well, it was quite a trying time because I just moved into a new office space, just new member of staff, was 2 months in, and then that same week, so the Monday, hired a new girl.
Oh yeah.
So she came into the office, but she just lived around the corner from the office. But then on the Thursday, that's it. We're now, in different parts of the country. And her dad is a GP or a clinical surgeon or something, and in Harrow. And he was his area was his hospital was actually turned into lockdown, COVID ward. Sorry. So then she moved on to Wales with her family because he didn't want them around.
Oh.
Because he's in a COVID ward, and if he comes home, the likelihood of them, my colleague and her mom catching COVID was probably high.
Wow.
Really
So
high.
she moved out into Wales. So we started. I started using Zoom before that. So Zoom became my best friend. We've been functioning quite well. So we catch up on a Monday morning, and then we tried actually having a day where for a couple hours, we leave Zoom on while we actually do our work.
Oh, wow.
So it's like we're in the same room.
And did you have a lunch or something one day? You said, we're having a lunch date. So they all sort of like ate their lunch in front of each other.
Yeah.
It was a bit
Right.
surreal.
Yeah, so try and keep it interactive because they're young people, in their 20s. I'm not much older, but
In his head.
in my head, yeah. But just trying to keep, because you're working in isolation. You can't see anyone. The dynamics of being in a team and discussing, having brainstorms and bouncing things off each other for a team of marketeers is kind of the norm. You kind of get inspiration from other people, from conversations. And when you're just there with your computer, it's sometimes quite difficult.
Yeah.
So try to create that atmosphere where, let's just have the screen on. You have dual screens.
Yeah.
Have the screen on. So even if you're singing in the background, chatting away, have a bit of flatulence, whatever it is, it's just like you're in the office.
Yeah, that week was just trial and error, wasn't it? It was sort of, I remember going into Wilkinson's and picking up loads of books. So she didn't know what the school was going to send home.
No.
Loads of books, and I'm picking up writing books for him and inspirational quotes, and I'm thinking, right, let's get prepared, because you just didn't know what to expect, how life was going to be. It was just a very odd, strange week for everyone, wasn't it? And obviously dealing with a child that was poorly as well with chickenpox, it was quite his understanding was limited as well. We tried to shield what was on the news and stuff, because he was like, well, have I got it? Is that why I'm ill?
Yeah.
It was quite knowing what to tell that age, what's really going on, because you don't want to scare them, but you want them to be aware of what's going on at that age. But it was quite difficult to try and sort of figure out what was age appropriate to tell them.
And they are hearing things on the television. We're trying to keep updated with what's happening. And one of the first things you hear quite clearly is how many people died.
Yeah.
And having to explain to a 5-year-old who's feeling poor, he's like, people are dying, and he's thinking, am I going to die? And he's not, understanding fully, well, you don't have the coronavirus and you're not going to die. But it was a constant thing, having to reassure him that this is not something that's going to happen to you. And then his brain goes in overdrive. So he's asking, so why is the coronavirus here? Why is it happening? Coming to my birthday, I can't see my friends. And then everything is kind of negative was associated with coronavirus. He couldn't go to the beach. He couldn't go and see his friends.
He can't go to the park. We live opposite a park. Obviously, that's all been cornered off, all the equipment. He's like, I can't go on there because of the coronavirus. Even silly things like he can't ride his bike. Obviously, he can now, but can't ride a bike. Everything was associated with that. So it's quite hard to kind of keep them upbeat when yourself you're thinking, I really don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we definitely had something similar like that as well. And any sneeze, cough, or anything like that, Madeline would shout coronavirus, and then Rosie, who can, that's one thing. Rosie, my youngest, who's turned from 2 to 3 during lockdown, and Madeline now from 5 to 6 during lockdown. Her speech has gone through, gone right up because constantly interacting with us. But it was just quite funny hearing them running around the house, coronavirus, and then coronavirus, which is Rosie. Anything negative would in straight away. Coronavirus or coronavirus or whatever it is. You can't have dessert, coronavirus. Fair enough. Yeah.
Everything.
So what kind of things have you guys been, especially with the kids? How's that looked? What's your day look like?
Well, obviously, he gets up and, sort of does his work day. So I take in Monday to Friday, I try and deal with the kids mainly. At the beginning, I was raring to go, and I had Marley, the youngest, he thrives on structure. So he needs to know what he's doing out the day, otherwise he gets himself a bit upset. So I did have, I've got a big whiteboard, and I was writing down what we were going to do for the day, so we could refer to it at any point of the day and go, right, that's the stuff I'm doing for the day. And we sort of had a routine going. That's got a bit more relaxed as everyone's kind of gone, she's just like wearing thin now. So not so stressed over it. But it worked quite well at the beginning, where I'm homeschooling in the morning. I then do a workout after they've had their lunch, so they then go off and read, or sometimes they come and join in the class with me. And then in the afternoon, it's sort of like, right, any issues that we've had through the day, and then it's like, right, you can do what you want now. So they're really close, so they're quite happy to play together. So we're quite lucky. Yeah. But the weekends have been hard. We're in a flat, so we don't have a garden. So the weekends have been harder to try and entertain them, especially when it was complete lockdown, and you could just go out for your one daily walk. We live opposite a woods, and it was just packed with people. So it was just, we didn't want to go and do that. So we had, what did we do? We did a talent show one weekend. That was quite funny. We, Oli and I did a really good sketch from Elsa and Anna from Frozen. Luckily, that's not on video. Melania plays the piano, so she did like a piano thing. Marley danced around. So that was one weekend. What else have we done? We've done afternoon teas. Yeah, afternoon tea. We did a movie day. So you did the whole cinema thing. So closed everything up. Lots of popcorn. They like these, what do you call these sweets? Oh, the Pick and Mix sweets. I did a Pick and Mix sweet bar. Put the surround sound on. He doesn't do well with loud noises, so turn it up loud and put his headphones on, so it's the cinema effect, basically. Yeah. So lots of different. I've actually redone their bedroom as well. So what else have we done? Yeah. Oh, we had a sleepover in the living room, which was a great idea at the start, and then about 3 o'clock in the morning, me and him were going, oh, my back, this is so whose idea was this? This is ridiculous. So that was quite eventful. But it's just kind of thinking of those things we never would have done if we didn't have to stay home. Like on a day where we, a normal day, we probably would have just chilled out, the kids would have played, and we wouldn't necessarily have gone out. But because we couldn't go out, we sort of made that extra effort to go, right, this is what we're going to do today. So it's been quite interesting trying to come up with different ideas and to make it fun for them, especially, like I said, because we are in a flat and don't have a garden to just go and run around outside.
Yeah, I think that is tricky, especially when there was obviously so many people, as you said, out in the open spaces. Now, one of the huge saving graces, we've got the same woodlands very close to where we live, and I found that, I don't know about you guys, but walking through that woodland and being in around the trees and around greenery and stuff has helped my mental state throughout this, because it helps me. I have to be around, I don't know, something that's not man-made for a certain point of my day, at least every 48 hours, probably not every day, like every other day. For me, just to be able to sort my brain out. I don't know.
Excuse me, being called.
Kid calling. I don't know whether you guys are the same or whether you're the same, but that has massively helped me. Have you guys managed to find a space for the family to go to?
Well, we still go to the woods, really. More so now, because the ease of the ease of the restrictions on lockdown, it is literally across the street, and it goes on for miles and miles into Thorndon Wood. recently we went across to Weald Park, which is where the Stickman Trail is there, but it's locked down. But it's acres and acres of space. I mean, even though it was packed, people were actually, maintaining their distances. So they had groups of people. So we were in the middle of a field and we were playing football. We had a bit of a picnic. And you're walking past people, but you're like 5-6 meters away from the nearest, group of people. So that was good. And when we had the nice, nice hot sunny days.
Yeah.
So the outdoor space, I really like. I come from a small, island, so I really love that outdoor space. And they quite like it as well. They like walking through the woods, picking up sticks, and making dens in the woods and stuff like that. So I like that, as my mom calls it, the bushman, the bushman side of me. So the kids have a bit of bushman in them.
Yeah. So talk to me about that as well. Have you got any family overseas at the moment?
Yeah, I've got two.
Everyone's pretty much over there.
I've got two cousins here. I've got a lot of family in America right now, in Brooklyn, in North Carolina, and a few other states, Canada. But most of my family is in Caribbean, Trinidad, and up the islands.
Because Mum was supposed to come, wasn't she?
Yeah, my mum was supposed to. Melania was supposed to do her first Holy Communion in May.
Yeah, beginning of May.
So my mum booked her ticket, come from Trinidad. She transferred it to I think January. But I just told her, look, just cancel it, get a refund, because you don't know if we can actually travel in January or if you'll feel safe. She's in a high risk group as well because she suffers from high blood pressure and stuff like that. So, and she doesn't like the cold. Most Caribbean people don't. I still don't like the bloody cold.
And also, it's not, Jerry, you and I would feel the cold in the winter. She feels cold here in the summer because we don't, I think the lowest it's ever got. She called, I was talking to her on the phone one day and she said, oh, it's chilly, I've had to put a jumper on. I said, go on, humour me. She said, oh, it's 18 degrees. I said, 18 degrees, I'd have some shorts on. So she really feels the cold a lot more, obviously, than we would.
Yeah.
But that was a shame that we didn't get to see her this year.
Yeah, she was looking forward to it. Melania was looking forward to it as well. Having Trini Granny here, as they say. But yeah, it will happen. We went over there at Christmas time. It's the first time the kids have been. And my family is quite small, right? So like a Sunday dinner, it's only 60 of us.
What?
Yeah, it was overwhelming for me coming from, I come from a small family, and I can't explain the difference in culture. I can't explain that, but it is very different and it's very overwhelming. But they are just so welcoming. And obviously nowadays you have social media and stuff, so you feel like you've met someone, you feel like you've known them. And then when you get there, you're sort of like hugging them like you've been friends and like family. Obviously, we've been married a long time, but, hugging them like I saw them last week. And actually, I've never even met them before. So it was overwhelming for me. It was even more overwhelming for the kids. But it was just so lovely to be in the warm weather and to be like with such a massive amount of family over Christmas. Because I've never experienced that either. So it was nice.
It's crazy. The contrast, though, isn't it? From Christmas of hugging 60 people in a small confined space, 3 months later, you're not allowed to see anything. So it's just, you can't even get your head around that. And especially over in Trinidad right now, or what's their journey been like over there? Have you been in communication with your family over in Trinidad?
Yeah. So they started lockdown a lot earlier than the UK did. Yeah. Right. So because they don't have the healthcare system there is not like here. Right, it's nowhere close. So they had to put things in place because they don't have the infrastructure to deal with massive amounts of COVID cases. So I think the total number of cases was just over 100, with a total of 8 deaths. And they're slowly reopening things now, but the borders are still closed. I've got some friends who went into like South America and who are still there because they can't get back 3 months later. Right.
The schools are still closed.
Yeah, schools are still closed. So they're still taking things really slowly, just in case.
The supermarkets and stuff and all those sorts of things have opened back up, but again strict on, you know, the same as here, sort of not letting so many people in and that sort of stuff. Because I know that one of Ollie's cousins, she makes cakes, and she was saying, you know, she's not been able to get anything, and even when she's gone, it's been such an odd experience. She's had to kind of adapt her business and stuff. So they're slowly starting to open up.
Trinidadians always thought that, and there's a saying there that God is a Trini, right? That you know, in the Caribbean they've never experienced a hurricane. It's always just missed Trinidad. It's hit everybody else, but not Trinidad. You know, so that God is obviously a Trinidadian. So COVID, there were the people who didn't take it seriously, so they had lockdown parties. They had lots of arrests, because one thing Trinidadians love is to party and have a good drink, right? Yeah. So there were people who broke the law, and quite a number of them having parties and stuff. But the police, they were having none of it. They said, look, this is some serious stuff. So yeah, but no, yeah, the family is good. I think we've got more of a connection now. So I would speak to my mom ever so often. I speak to my cousins on the WhatsApp groups. But now everyone is a fan of Zoom and WhatsApp video calls, so we speak on a more regular basis now.
It's just trying to catch the time difference with them as well, because they'll call at like 7, 8 o'clock at night. Like, oh, can we speak to the kids? I'm like, oh, no, it's 8 o'clock at night here. So sometimes they get the sort of the time difference and stuff. So it's kind of managing, trying to figure out when we're all awake. And the kids will be the same. Like Milan, you say, oh, I want to speak to Auntie Didi and my cousins. It's like, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. They're like here. Yeah. So they're all still asleep. And she's like, oh, you know, I've got to wait and stuff. So that's been quite fun.
I woke up a couple of mornings and I have missed watch party invites or calls on my phone from Facebook, because even though they're in lockdown, they've got their drinks and they'll be like, oh, we should call Olando. Let's call.
Yeah, they don't care what the time
They don't care what the time is. So, well, it's been years now that I put it on silent. I used to keep, when I first moved here, I used to keep it on just in case something happened home and they need to get in touch. But I quickly learned that if they're in a party and they remember, oh, this song reminds you of Olando, or someone did something, so all right, they'll call him. 1, 2, 3, 4, doesn't matter. Yeah, it's like wake yourself up, man. Yeah. Well, it's good.
I've had that with 2 brothers in the UK, let alone people overseas.
Time difference.
Oh, just because, well, why not, eh? Why not? That's from Alex, who lives a mile down the road, and my brother Ollie. Normally when they get together and they have a drink together, at 2 o'clock in the morning, the pair of them will try and FaceTime me. Way before lockdown, this has been happening for years. So I had to put my phone at 2, 3 in the morning. They don't care. So I can definitely resonate. I feel your pain, mate. I feel your pain.
I don't have that pain anymore. I switch it off.
So have you got any plans for the future to be heading back over there, or are you guys going to plan any trips? Have you got anything that you're looking forward to? Because we are slowly lifting restrictions now.
Yeah, I mean, so many plans this year started off with so many plans because of the well, obviously running this business. You know, I have started the year with this is a change in the strategy, a change in the structure. The business plan is going to be different, and then bam, it's like a kick in the teeth. The things kind of get kicked back, because the plan was to put things in place this year so that the business grows organically, gradually. So we live in a flat. The plan was always to try and buy a house next year.
That's still the plan.
It's still the plan.
It just may take a little longer than we thought.
Yeah, I mean, it still may happen, but again, it may or may not happen the way we want it to.
Yeah.
I've been requests for a dog for the longest period of time. So that's also on the wish list of things to do.
But I haven't had a dog since Forrest. You remember Forrest?
Yes.
My German Shepherd, and she was the best. And I haven't, since we lost her, I've never felt that.
At least that's a real dog. That's a
proper dog, a big dog. I do like big dogs, but I think I just feel like a kind of waiting for things to go back to normal. But I don't think they ever. I don't know if they ever will, because I think I had all the social stuff planned this year. Like Melania was going to take her first Holy Communion. She had a dance show, which is an annual thing. So we then had like birthday things planned for my birthday, for Mother's Day, over the Easter holiday we had stuff planned, and so I kind of just waiting until I can do those things again. But I just feel like you can't plan too far in advance now. You kind of go, right, let's just plan for the weekend ahead now, and then we'll just see what happens. But
I was going to do my first triathlon this year as well.
Oh yeah, and the serpentine swim.
And the swim, yeah. So every year for the past, since 2009.
10 years now. Yeah,
since 2009, every year I choose a charity and I do an event to raise funds for them. You know, and the serpentine swim was supposed to be this year because I've done the London Marathon, the Ride London, and there's this thing called the London Classics. So if you do the 3, you then get the London Classics Award from the Mayor of London.
Oh, wow.
So the serpentine swim, and I said, right, I'm going to try a triathlon. But obviously all that's kind of like gone out the window. So I'll have to try and do it next year. It's my year's break, put it that way, which is probably needed because
you're getting old.
I'm getting younger. You know, the beautiful skin is don't get it fool you. But I tried to support a friend of mine who was doing 2.6 by 26, so 2.6 miles for men's health, right? Because I'm an advocate for men's health charity. So I said, I'll support you by helping to raise awareness, and I'll run a 5K every day for 26 days.
Nice.
Right. So I got up to 16, and then I started getting shin splints, and my knees started aching, and I'm like, oh God. So yeah. So I think now I'm back to like recovered, so I have to finish my 10. You know, I made a commitment, so I'm going to finish it.
I think I'm ambitious, just trying to do it straight out.
Yeah, because I hadn't done anything before. Just no running, that is. I'd be doing some small workouts. But it's like, right, trainers on, I'm gone.
Off you went. It's like, oh.
Proper dad. Don't worry about it. Got my boots. Got my boots. That's right. Have you got a sub shirt? Yeah, sweet. No worries.
Yeah. I'll tag you on the way.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the typical kind of, I'll get through it. Don't worry. It's like you can't do that even more as you get older. And I feel the same. But you can't do that even more as you get older. You think, no, actually, you have to really plan it and think it through and actually train for these events now.
Build up.
Yeah. That's how I used to do it, Jerry. That was me.
But you were young then.
Well, relatively, but yeah. So I would just say, right, that's what I'm going to do. I did. When I did the London Marathon, right, I got my place confirmed. I was in Dubai. I got my place confirmed in January. Started training at the end of January. Did the Brentwood Half Marathon.
In March.
Pulled the groin muscle, so I was down for a week. And then in April, did the marathon. Yeah. So it's, again, for me, it was all like, it's all a mental thing.
I mean, if you're going to do a marathon, the London one is probably the best one to get you through mentally because the atmosphere is so amazing and stuff.
Oh, yeah. My brother's got a fantastic story because he's done a couple of marathons and he did the New York Marathon. And he did it in like...
He's always...
Forever. He took him forever. Like he said, old ladies were overtaking him. And
I thought he was going to say he's really quick.
No, he did it terribly. He said he's hungover and stuff. I think because he's a funny animal. My brother, he's just about to have kids though, so he's slowed down now, and he's great fun. I love him. I love all my family species, and he's great fun. But he said he pretty much spent the last 2 hours, which would have been like I can't remember how many miles, pretty much running and crying at the same time. It was just one of them like that, and old ladies overtaking him and stuff, which fantastic image for me. But yeah,
that'd be me.
He didn't train for it either, but one of those things. So look, tell me about. We're coming to a bit of a close now. So to be honest though, with you two, I could probably end up doing this for like 2 hours. I have to usher us into a bit of a funnel, if it were. So talk to me about what you're focusing on taking from lockdown, and you want to continue doing.
For me, it's actually done a lot for me. Put it this way, I'm. It's not a workaholic, but it's my work ethic. Right, I put 150% into it, and to the detriment of these guys, unfortunately. Sometimes, I'll be away.
We don't see them in the week. Sometimes we just,
I'll be away or whatever the case is. I don't see the kids. And when I'm here, I want to take some time for myself, because it's like my brain is overloaded, and I'm not giving them the time that they need. But being here, and even if I'm on a Zoom call or whatever, and they come around and Marty sits on the toilet, Daddy, I'm on the toilet, I've had a poo. And it's a bit of a chuckle, but just having them around, makes me realize, made me realize a bit more that, I'm doing this for them anyway. And if I don't try and find that balance, even after lockdown, where, they're at school or whatever else, but I need to switch off and give them not just the kids, but Lucy as well, give them the time, then why am I doing all of this? Because I'm looking at, right now, nothing. I used to love watching, movies, just kind of clears my mind and stuff. Nothing really excites me. I'm not thinking, what am I going to do after? What's holiday we going to go on? It's like, no, it's what
it's right now.
It's right now.
What are we doing right here, right now? What are we doing tonight? What are we going to do right now? I think I'm the same. Like I look forward to, because I spend a lot of time by myself, I look forward to kind of planning what we're going to do at the weekend, or what we're going to do for someone's birthday. Maybe I go a bit over the top, and it's like sometimes they actually just want to lay in bed with us and watch a movie, and I find that hard to do, because I spend a lot of, I suppose, downtime. I just think, well, I want a bit more liveliness, and I want to do things, and and I just think we could just sit with the three of us when Ollie's working, like we just sit and the conversation, like sometimes I just listen to the kids talk to each other, and the conversations are hilarious.
Great, isn't it?
So funny. Like I think it was a couple of days ago, and they were eating their lunch, and Marley said, Melania, do you know, we laugh because he says in front of everything, do you know, it's full of facts. He said, when you eat food, it's gone forever. And she went, yeah, it goes right in your tummy, but then it just disappeared. And this conversation about food that was disappearing was just hilarious. And I just thought, I'm never going to hear these conversations from adults. Like, adult conversations are quite boring, but just listening to them, and almost like getting to know their personalities again. And as they're changing, they're just amazing. They're just hilarious.
Yeah, my appreciation has just changed tremendously. And it's actually, even though I am still working probably more hours, I'm working here, and I have that break with them, and I understand more why I need to have that connection with them, or maintain that connection with them.
And I very much am living the same kind of existence as you guys right now, where I'm experiencing things I'd never see. Madeline has gone back to school now, to some degree, and it was strange the other day. They were at the house because Rosie was at nursery for a couple of hours, and Madeline was at school. And me and my wife, kind of just sat there. This is the first time it's been for 3 months almost, and we were like, "This place is silent."
Yeah.
And it was just weird, it was. We joked, "Oh, it's nice, isn't it?" And a little bit of it was like, it's not really though, is it? It's meant to be nice.
Yeah.
It's not.
You don't ever want the whole day. You just need 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. An hour.
About an hour. Because sometimes I found it really hard at the beginning, because it was, everyone wanted mummy's attention, and everyone needed mummy's attention, and like this was new for me as well. But mummy had to just get on with it and expect to be all right with it. And I just think, I just need 5 minutes. But now I think, like I said, I do a workout in the afternoon, and the kids know that, well, mummy's working out, so if it can wait, I'll just wait, or I've got to entertain myself and stuff. But yeah, you just think, if it was a whole day, I think I didn't need the whole day, just needed half an hour to kind of think for myself a little bit.
And sometimes I'll play on that, right? I know she needed 5 minutes, and she's gone to the toilet, and I'll just knock on the door. You're all right in there? You need some help? just to annoy her just a little bit more, but then it made me feel better, So that was all cool.
And sometimes it's hard because the kids, they do it all the time, and I swear they just know, don't they, when you're in one of those moods. I'm in the bathroom, and they come running up, says, "Mummy, can I have this?" It's, "Where's Daddy?" "Oh, I just passed him downstairs."
Yeah.
"Well, you didn't think to ask him this?" "No."
Sometimes, don't tell her, but sometimes I say,
"Don't ask Mummy. Mummy's not busy." Yeah.
Yeah.
I just needed 5 minutes to like go to the toilet or something. It wasn't even, I wasn't even, you know, laying on the bed reading a book. I was literally doing something functional, and you need my attention right then, right now.
Yeah.
Well,
Sometimes she's reading a book.
You're in charge. Yes, give her a poke. But the kids know mum's in charge. I know we have this kind of thing, you know, we are, you know, mum and dad, you know, we're a team. And, you know, if daddy says no, you know, I'm going to say no. And that's what it is. But the kids know that mum makes all the rules. They know that. And so they just bypass us because we're irrelevant.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because they know they can say.
I do say, because I don't know. I don't know the answer 9 times out of 10. So I will have to either call Jem or just say, ask your mum. Because I legitimately don't know whether they're allowed crisps or
exactly the same
night for breakfast. I don't know whether you're allowed a baby bell for breakfast or a pepperami. I don't know this stuff, right? So, and they go, what's wrong with you? I'll be like, I don't know. What is wrong with me? You know that they can't have you know, I don't know, a yogurt at 12 at night. I don't know this stuff. I'd eat it at midnight. You know?
Exactly.
Let's face it, Jerry, you'd eat anytime, anywhere, anything.
Anytime.
There is a checklist that we've been given, so how hell are we supposed to know it?
Oh, wait.
And everything we do is going to be wrong anyway.
Yes.
You know, so,
School activity for tomorrow morning, right? Dad's a list. Things I am not allowed to do.
And still get wrong.
I like that.
Why bother? Go ask mummy. That's it.
Go ask mum. Every answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to come into these final couple of questions now. You know, I did warn you two about these. And I don't really want this one to end, to be honest. I've really loved this one. But we've got to come to a bit of a close. If not, the listeners are probably going to get bored of our personal banter. So, if you have had, have you had anything, or have you seen some advice, taken any advice, or have you seen something that's kind of got you through this from start to finish, or during partway through, or anything that's really resonated with you that's kind of kept you motivated during the lockdown?
You want to go?
I don't know. Like, obviously, hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? And I feel like with the schoolwork, like, I'm really lucky. My two do some schoolwork. They do what they're asked to do. All right, they don't always do it well. They do it half-assed, but, you know, at least they're doing it. And, you know, that's all I can ask them. I just feel like maybe I shouldn't have been so fun at the beginning, because now I'm running out of ideas. You know, full on going, you know, we've got all this jam-packed, thinking it's only going to be a 3-week thing. And now we're 3 months down the line. I'm thinking, oh, I've run out of ideas now. So I think maybe I should have, you know, spread out the fun a little bit. But I don't really know if there was anything. I think we've been all right. Like, we're quite lucky. We don't argue. You know, don't get me wrong, we do each other's head in, but then we'll just go in separate rooms for an hour and be like, I'll speak to you tonight. But we've never, you know, I've spoken to couples that have really argued, and I don't want him in the house, and she's doing this, that, and the other. And I think, well, actually, we've not been like that. We're really lucky that we're not.
Well, I bought a T-shirt. Why would it be like that? Is I am listening. I just nod
and don't care, or something.
Just nod and acknowledge. Yeah. You know, so keep the peace. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't.
I don't know. It's hard to tell, I suppose.
There's nothing. I didn't take any advice from anyone. To be fair, what I have started doing, and this is for my own mental state as well, is that same charity I told you about that I started doing this run for. HUMEN Space. They used to meet in Covent Garden, and now they meet on Zoom on a Monday evening. It's non-clinical, so there's no one saying, oh, you know, you've got this and you've got that. So it's just a group of lads from all over the world, actually, has come on for an hour and say, you know what, today was a shit day, or today was a good day, and just get things off your chest, whatever it is. Each person has an opportunity to say something. Then there's a theme where you talk about, like yesterday we spoke about connection. You know, what does that mean to you? How has it changed? How has it affected your life now in lockdown? And then there's one thing that you're thankful for, whatever it may be. It may be, you know what, I'm thankful for Jerry for inviting us to it. Whatever it is, I'm thankful for having a nice dinner. I'm thankful that, you know, there's change happening with Black Lives Matter movement. Whatever it is, and that I think I'm glad I found that, because it's just an avenue that is not, you know,
not me,
I'm not just
someone else.
putting stuff on her where, yeah, you can't ramble on forever, but whatever really bothering you, you can get it off your chest with a group of strangers who be like, yeah, dude, it's all cool. You
just
know?
Non-judgmental.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
So, I mean, doing that kind of helped, you know, kind of helped clear my headspace for a bit. And I think I'm going to continue. There's no commitment, there's no fees, there's no nothing. It's just, come on, get the link, come on a Monday, and that's it.
Amazing. That is amazing. And you know what? In the show notes, we will put any information for people if they do feel like they want to reach out to the group. You know, if there's a way for people to get in touch with similar groups or anything like that, we'll see. And we'll put bits in there. But I love the fact that they end with gratitude, because, you know, gratitude, being grateful, is a very powerful thing that helps rewire the way that you think, because you can't be angry and grateful at the same time. So you physically can't do it. Your body, the mind cannot do it. You can't do those two things. So it has to choose one. And if you choose gratitude, you know, the benefits of that when it comes to also hormonally on a deeper level for the body, it can help you out of anxiety, depression. It can help you see the light at the end of the tunnel. And, you know, it's something that I've learned to work with a lot, especially when overcoming anger issues, which is something that I don't really have an issue with anymore. But when I was younger, gratitude is what massively got me out of it. You know, and I love that. And that, I can imagine that's helping a lot of people. So that's amazing. I'd love to help the viewers / listeners with that. Now, there is one final thing I want to ask you guys, and that is the big question, that if you could send yourself a message, if you could send a message back in time to the beginning of COVID, so 11 weeks ago, you could send a text message or a carrier pigeon, whatever it is, to kind of whisper in your own ear and give yourself a heads up about something, or give yourself a message, what would or could you send back to yourself that could either help or, you know, or even motivate you?
I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have cooked so many cakes and biscuits at the beginning, because I'm paying for that now.
Yeah, we do.
Because the kids love cooking and I can cook. So all that stuff at the beginning. No. And then now, back in the day, remember, I couldn't at all. And then like 3 weeks in, we're like, why have we put on so much weight? And it's like, right, we need to, I'm sure we're not the only ones. I'm sure there's lots of people out there that have done the same. I don't know. I don't want to say we've got it, we've done it all right, because I'm sure there will be things.
I'll tell you what I'd have done. I'd have bought some stock in Zoom. Yeah. I'd have definitely bought some stock in Zoom, because if obviously you're telling your past self, this is going to happen, the world is going to change. Some ideas that I'm working on now for clients, but or potential clients, from a marketing perspective, I'd have probably put it forward then. So planted the seed, because the need is here now because of COVID, right? It's more immediate that people need to have a better online presence. And if you have a bricks and mortar store, and your virtual store is suffering for lack of love, you need to put some attention there. So I'd have put myself in a position where when we get to this stage, I'd be up here, or my business would be up here in terms of what these guys doing. So I'd probably been able to grab more customers or more clients from putting myself out first.
I think that's, again, it comes down to kind of the hindsight thing, but also I think now we've got a position where we can recognize that there is going to be change. There are things that we do need to necessarily focus on, and we need to take the online world a bit more seriously, you know, because let's face it, there's always been two schools of thought. Like, people honestly have thought the internet world and online businesses have been a bit Mickey Mouse, isn't there? You know, there has been that group of people. I'm not one of them, but there have been that group of people that think like, oh, the online this or the online community is all just like people sharing funny memes and messing around, and they don't actually see it. Haven't up until now really seen it, that the fact that these guys are turning over serious. You know, this is the world now, and I think that COVID lockdown has opened everyone's eyes to the fact that we are going through a new age. Like, we're not going through a funny time. We are actually going through an age of development now.
Yeah,
it's just been fast forwarded, right?
Yeah.
And I think as well, like the kids, like our kids that are at that sort of young age where there's sort of like that stigma attached to them being on screens all the time. I think actually, like from my perspective, like especially Marley, he soaks up knowledge like a sponge. Like if he reads something once, he'll just know it. And I can't physically give him that just by having these conversations and making him write and looking at books. But the internet and online and stuff, like some of the stuff that the school sent over and some of the stuff that's been available has all been online. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. And the knowledge that they're going to take from those is going to be fantastic. And not only just the knowledge, but the fact that they can use like a laptop and a desktop and an iPhone or a smartphone and a tablet. You know, if they can use that now, what are they going to be like when they're teenagers? Like, these are going to be our people that are sort of like techies, if you like, because we've given that exposure to those online and we've shown them how to use Zoom and how to speak to their friends over the internet and stuff. So I think that stigma's maybe gone a little bit with people going, oh, you know, screen time, I don't let them have too much screen time and stuff. And, you know, we're quite lucky because I know there are probably quite a few kids that missed out because they don't have access to that stuff. But I think I've just completely utilised it to as much as I can. And
but we have to nurture that, because it can just turn to screen time things. You have to nurture that. So if the interest is in, you know, how does, like Marley, for one, he'd be like, okay, how does this work as a keyboard? So he wants to know the workings of things. Whereas Milan would be like, oh, that's cool. So I could watch a show, I could play a game, you know? So it's nurturing what they want from it, what they take from it, and nurturing that, so that they'll probably want to do more with that, as opposed to just use it as a device for recreation or for learning.
This week, today, they were messing around with, Milan's got one of our old phones that she mainly watches Netflix on, but she's learned how to set an alarm on there, which is a nightmare. If you say, oh, at 2 o'clock, we're going to do this, the alarm's going off at 2 o'clock.
That's brilliant.
So then Marley's gone onto his iPad and he's searched and he's found the clock on there and worked out how to set an alarm on a different device. And I didn't show him that. She didn't show him that. And then last week they were looking at Google Earth. So of course the first place you look at Google Earth is your own house, isn't it? So they were looking at Google Earth, and then they were looking at all the places we went to in the Caribbean when we went and stuff. So it was quite interesting. They were like, wow, look, I can see that. And it was brilliant. So I think, utilise the online world as much as they can now while they're soaking in that knowledge, rather than like teaching me how to use Zoom. It took only like 20 minutes to show me how to log into the thing, where, you know, you could have shown one of the kids and they'd be like, oh, mummy, this is how you do it, you know, because they just soak up knowledge so quickly.
I love that. And you know what, we've got to close on that, and that is the truth. You know, we are heading towards a new destination, and well, those of you listening and those of you watching probably know a lot better than us three right now of what that's going to look like, right? So look, you two, don't go anywhere. I'm going to say thank you so much for today. I've really enjoyed it. Missed you guys, and it's been far too long, and now lockdown's coming to a close. I hope we're going to see a bit more of each other, and I'm going to come and see you guys, more importantly, and I'm going to bring my clan with me. So thank you. Right.
Excellent.
Right, cool. So I'm going to say goodbye to everyone else now. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for watching, those of you who are right now. If you have enjoyed this episode, pretty please do press that share button on social media so your friends and family can enjoy it just as much as you have. Also, if you do have a voice and you'd like to tell us what you thought of the episode, keep it kind, keep it clean, but comment in the comments bar below, and we'll get back in touch with you within around about 24 to 48 hours. Also, if you want to help me on my gargantuan task to speak to 100 people during the COVID-19 lockdown time, please do get in touch via ABC Gym or send me a cheeky message or comment below. Guys, thank you so much. Don't go anywhere, but I'm going to tell this lot to clear off. So, much love. See you soon.